Hey, I, like probably most of you, grew up under a Western education curriculum that taught us that Israel began in 1948 for a plucky band of Holocaust survivors carving out a safe space for persecuted Jews to live in peace and harmony, to have their own safe place in the world. I was never taught that there were gangs of Zionist thugs in the region long before 1948 terrorizing local populations. I wasn't taught about the Nakba. I wasn't taught about the expulsion of Palestinians from their home. I wasn't taught about the many years of repression of the Palestinian people. And so when October the 7th happened and social media was flooded with support for Israel and all of our Western politicians were coming out in unconditional support of Israel, it was almost as if something had started on October the 7th, and the refrain that was repeated that we had been taught throughout our lives, that Israel has a right to exist and Israel has a right to defend itself. But all the subsequent actions, both in terms of what the Zionists have done since October the 7th and the way they've behaved, as well as the fact that this current genocide has given all of us a chance to be educated about what has happened for the past 100-odd years, the way the Zionists have behaved prior to October the 7th, that many of us, and certainly me included, have come to the conclusion that those two sort of facts that are put forward as this is how things are, that Israel has the right to exist, Israel has the right to defend itself, are in fact wrong. I don't believe that the Zionist project that is the current Israel does have the right to exist. They're the mad lunatic in your house. They are war criminals. And no civilized society has to just accept that this rampant terrible neighbor has the right to exist and has the right to defend itself from what? Its own misdeeds, its own behavior, its own murder and repression. And so the events of the past few days, the bulldozing of people sleeping in tents in the hospital courtyard, the blatant assassination of 3 surrendering fucking hostages, to the point where it appears, at least for civilian hostages, to be safer with Hamas than trying to get back to Israel, right? And they call it a mistake. That wasn't a mistake, right? These guys were shirtless, carrying a white flag, speaking in Hebrew, and they still got murdered. They still got assassinated. And then an Israeli comes on, and when he's questioned, those are hard questions. And what are you going to do when these soldiers get back to we're going to give them a hug. Fuck them. Fuck them. They are murderers. They are murderers. Not just of their own people. That may have been, oh my God, that was a bit of a silly error, wasn't it? But the intention is clear. Just kill everyone. Doesn't matter if they were walking shirtless with a white flag. Fucking kill them. Kill them, because they're Palestinians, basically, is what it boils down to. This is a murderous, thug, genocidal regime, and it needs to be brought to its knees. Now, I'm not saying that Israel needs to disappear, but the Zionist project absolutely does. Absolutely does. It has no legitimacy and no credibility, right? We've been told about this amazing, Israeli occupation force, the IDF, that is this amazing army, and Mossad, this amazing intelligence service. So fucking amazing that they didn't know October 7th was going to happen. Or they did and they let it happen. Both ways, they're assholes, right? And this army is proving itself wholly incompetent. Bunch of conscripts fucking around, just killing whatever moves, bombing everything in sight, right? They're not invincible. What I believe could happen is that a one-state solution where everybody in the region is given full rights and citizenship could exist. So we need to get rid of Netanyahu and his criminal cohort, get rid of these lunatics, get rid of Likud, put a new government in place that can oversee a transition to full citizenship for everyone living there, right? I can't see any other answer, because the way things are going, it seems to be the direction that we're just going to kill all the Palestinians, that we're just going to get rid of them, we're going to try and shunt them into neighboring countries. That's not a solution. Every single person they kill breeds several more potential Hamas operatives. So, what can we do, right? I'm sure most of us are feeling pretty bloody miserable about all of this. Well, I think there are a bunch of things. The first is, of course, protest. Attend the street marches. Bring this to the attention of our politician and media. I think countries should be petitioning the International Criminal Court for charges for war crimes to be brought against Netanyahu, everyone in his cabinet, everyone in the IDF, particularly the senior officers, ought to be held up for the war crimes that they're committing. So let's petition the ICC for real action to see that happen. We should definitely be boycotting Israeli goods and Israeli services and companies that are backing Israel. My particular favorites for this: boycott Amazon, boycott Zara. Let's put them out of business. Fuck those guys. Let's boycott British Petroleum, BP. Let's boycott Marks and Spencer, right? All of these are Zionist, genocidal, supporting companies. Don't buy anything from them. There are many others. There are lists that you can look at. Plead with your representatives and governments to call for a permanent ceasefire and regime change in Israel. Keep posting, commenting, liking, reposting, boosting on social media. Follow Palestinian content creators. Inform yourself and boost that content. And then finally, please, do not be anti-Semitic, right? This is not a Jewish problem. There are many wonderful Jews who are anti-Zionists, who are protesting along with everyone else in this. This is not a Jewish versus Muslim thing. This is a Zionist versus the world thing. This is people with a sense of entitlement that they're enforcing through brutality and repression, that do not deserve to be able to do that and need to be stopped from doing it as soon as possible. The Zionist project must fail. It must fail, because if it doesn't, we as a world are being dragged down into hell.